George Saravelos, are we finally at a hard landing in China?
Well, I think that chart, Tom, is really the most important chart of the year and where it goes over the next few months, because the market's major concern is where growth is heading, and the big growth downgrades that happened in Q4 of last year, very sharp, were led by China. So it really depends on what your view is in terms of what's going to happen there. Our view is actually that we're very close to an inflection point. You've seen a fair degree of stimulus that's come in through Q4 and Q1. We monitor China credit growth very closely in the credit impulse, and that does seem to be inflecting. So our view is that the next larger move here is probably up rather than down. But it is quite critical that it happens in terms of how we're looking at the markets and the outlook for the rest of the year.
George, what will actually strengthen more this year, renminbi or dollar?
So overall, we've got a weak dollar view. We think the renminbi, of course, already has had quite a sharp move in terms of appreciating on the back of these news around a potential currency agreement. But overall, we'd look at the renminbi being quite stable and the dollar weakening against other things such as the yen, the euro. Obviously, there's been substantial weakness against the pound. The pound is the best performing currency this year. But overall, we're looking for dollar weakness.
George, the yuan has been driven pretty much by the trade war. If FX becomes part of the deal, what of the yuan going forward?
So our view is that the main implication will be to depress volatility. So 7 will become a line in the sand, essentially. So dollar China will not go through 7. But equally, the potential for the yuan to appreciate quite sharply, precisely because of the chart Tom showed earlier in terms of the weakness of the economy, the potential for the yuan to appreciate is quite limited. The authorities there do want easy financial conditions, and a weaker yuan is part of that. So if the dollar is weaker, dollar yuan perhaps grinds lower, but it depreciates on a trade-weighted basis.